Hello, and welcome back to Manapot Studios and the Book of Bretheda. I am your host and GM for today's episode, Krifu Bernal. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm super stoked to be back here for the second episode of Chapter 5. Before we go into the show any further, let's go ahead and meet our illustrious cast.
Hello, Internet. My name is Dexter Warren. My pronouns are he, they, and I'll be playing Mimosa Vega. I don't remember what I usually say, but you know what? Mimosa's just a happy little boy, and he's back visiting home and dealing with some intrigue.
Hi there, my name is Parker Wallace. I use they, she, they pronouns, and today I will be playing Usogu, a Han cultist Solarian who is trying to do some community service work in exchange for being able to have my record wiped clean. It's complicated.
Hello, I am Jeff, and I will be playing pronouns he, they, and I'll be playing Ino Nashang, Lashunta Envoy and Biohacker. Also pronouns he, they. Ino is just pleased as punch that they are part of this here little shindig, but a little tuckered out from the excitement that happened last time.
Hello everybody, I am Cypher, pronouns he, him, and I will be playing, this time, a small blue bantrid named Twill, who is a roboticist. They were on a tech detox to Bretheda when they encountered something thoroughly horrifying that attacked them and the group of people they were with, and now they are intrigued and looking for the reason why this happened. But they think they could do with some sort of cup of gaseous tea first. I'm sure they serve something like that on Bretheda.
I'm sure there is plenty of it. So, previously on the Book of Bretheda, we returned to Bretheda after a brief tour of the Pact World celebrating Mimosa's new crown and scepter title of Mixed Pact Worlds. And the first stop back at Bretheda was a homecoming here at the Dawn Flare Temple, the Temple of Sarenrae, and the very north pole of Bretheda. Met with much fanfare and a large crowd of celebrants and well-wishers, air quotes, the crew quickly sought refuge in Serenray's garden, where there were presents and hors d'oeuvres to be had. Unfortunately, one of these presents was a large space tree that promptly attacked Mimosa, Ushogu, and their new friends. And as we return to the episode, we come upon Serenray's garden in much disarray. The green and well-lit conservatory area here is punctured with shouts and cries and screams as the guests and residents of the temple struggle to find cover. The tree in the center that is the source of all of this panic and violence, now wilting amidst the flames of Ushogu's wrath. And yeah, and I think Mimosa is also swiftly trying to put out the fires on some of his onesies that were excellent gifts. So let's pop over, switch up the music. Something a little bit more exciting.
Mm.
Let's see.
Ooh. That is exciting.
A woman, well armored, who is bearing a holographic shield on her arm of Serenray's symbol, comes up. Your old friend Shauna, who is the head of temple security. She has long black braids and a beautiful golden dark brown skin tone. And she comes up with her eyes ablaze. Mimosa, is everything okay? What happened?
Well, the tree that is currently smoldering, and I'll just kind of stamp out a piece of the fire and take a sample of the leaf. That came alive and attacked us. Also, congrats on your promotion. That's amazing. But yeah, it was really scary. Not a good time.
Yes, I commend you and your friends on slaying the danger and quelling its strange magics. I did my best to keep the rest of the guests and residents here safe. So thank you for your service.
I saw you. Mm-hmm. You did your thing.
Yes, of course. But now, I need your help. We must lock down the temple and discover and begin... it's been so long since I've had to do this, an investigation. You know that Shauna, before coming to the temple, retired from working security at Trilidium, the nearby arcology. She wanted to find inner peace and goodness. She was becoming disillusioned with the way that security handled a lot of the troubles on the arcology. More of a shoot first, ask later sort of method over there, and Serenray, of course, has a gentler outlook on that. If you wouldn't mind helping me, you've grown quite powerful since our days training together in the past.
Well, I can't deny that. I've gotten a couple more powers, and you see the jellyfish of Mimosa just kind of flush a little bit, like a little pinkish purple. Yeah, I'm happy to help with an investigation. Is this a whodunit?
Maybe. I have my suspicions, but I must go quickly and alert Braxil, the head priest of Serenray, as well as the rest of the priests and security and guards, temple guards, that we must lock down the temple before anyone leaves.
Of course, yeah.
And
Nobody else is hurt, are they?
You do a quick look around, and it seems like you were able to contain most of the damage just yourselves.
Okay.
Even then, scuffs, scratches, nothing no flesh. Everything just a flesh wound, essentially.
But we were the target of whatever that thing was, their aggression. It didn't like just randomly start attacking anyone in the vicinity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have I seen Trenda anywhere since she left? Is she notably absent?
Was she in this space or was she in the other room? Because we sort of escaped
She-
the main hall.
When we entered this space, she was here, and then we had a brief, lovely, friendly conversation, and then she went elsewhere.
Right
And
before.
I don't know.
That's
Mhm,
right.
Right before.
That's right.
Suspicious.
She is not in this space, the Lashunta woman.
And I'll just mention to Shauna, hey, if you could just keep an eye out for her. We haven't seen her since before the attack, so I just want to make sure that she's okay.
Yes, I can. I think my first, after locking down the temple, I think our first task should be pulling in suspects for interviews.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind beginning that task and meeting me in Saren Ray's study, which is the sort of the library here at the temple.
Sounds good. Of course. I'll just check in with our team here. How are you all doing? I know that was a bit unexpected. This isn't usually how our celebrations go. If you are doing well, second question, would you be interested in helping with an investigation?
I imagine Ushogu is currently like sipping on the water by the topiaries and eating some leaves to recover from all the energy spent from his supernova. And then all of a sudden he hears about like the interrogation. He goes, "Just like the good old days. I'll bar the doors."
Yeah, I think Twill, apart from fixing their robotic drone arms, just putting all of the cables and electronic bits back in places, they're going to go over to the remains of this void palm and take a closer look at it, try and work out what it is, where it came from, if it's a creature, if it was constructed, that sort of thing.
Go ahead and roll life science if you have it.
Life science, I do. Okay. Life science. 8. Not great.
8. Upon examination, it's very obvious that this is not constructed nor mechanical. It's highly organic and magical, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start rounding up people. I'm gonna just go up to the various guests and one at a time say, "Excuse me, but due to the nature of the things going on here, I'm gonna have to ask you to please form an orderly line over there so that we may begin an investigation."
Can you go ahead and roll diplomacy?
Oh, I'd love to roll diplomacy. That's a 19.
19. So we'll treat this as sort of an informal gather information, if you will, which does take some time. Normally takes about like an hour, I think. Which it could, if you're gathering guests to, get them interviewed, interrogated about what they saw, what happened. An hour maybe isn't actually a bad amount of time to get that going. Is that
Yeah.
something you're okay with?
Yeah.
But with a 19, a lot of the guests some of them are residents, some of them are visitors to the temple, just your sort of gentle and gentlemanly demeanor that puts them at ease, and they're like, oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, can I get you anything? A drink, perhaps, while you wait?
An older gentleman with like long white hair, and the staff is like, yes, absolutely, I would very much enjoy a punch right now, young man.
Of course. I'll grab a glass from whatever nearby table, dip it into the water, and turn it into what he was asking.
Thank you.
Ooh.
My pleasure. I'm sure it won't be too long. And as I'm going around to speak with everyone, I'm keeping a close mental ear on any telepathy that's going on between guests. I want to know if anyone's doing anything sneaky. And I will note that I have the feat Telepathic Spy.
Okay, I was about to be like,
What
can
does
you-
that do?
Yeah, can you
Oh,
read that for us?
Yeah, sure. So when a creature within range of your telepathy uses telepathy or receives telepathic communication, such as via telepathic message, or employs a mind reading effect, such as detect thoughts, I can notice the attempt with a successful DC 20 sense motive check. If I succeed by 5 or more, I glean 3 pieces of information about the communication, such as the identity of its source, its general nature, the emotional state of the sender or the recipient, and so on. And
DC
there's another bit for 10 or more. But yeah,
DC
DC 20.
DC 20. Go ahead and roll that for me, please.
Okay, sense motive.
I love it when a player
That's
has an ability that like completely changes the way this is gonna go.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 26.
Nice. You spy 2 Lashunta women who are clearly guests. One Demaya, tall and slender, and one Karasha, shorter, stouter, but both quite beautiful. The Karasha woman has some like facial tattoos, and they both appear to be in sort of casual station wear. You hear their thoughts, their communique. Ooh. Oh my god, I love it.
Tell me all this juicy gossip.
The Karasha woman, she says to the Demaya, I didn't think that would be. And the Demaya woman says, it's not the way you thought it might go down. And then the Karasha woman's like, I mean, I wasn't exactly sure what would happen, but that I would have never guessed.
Okay, I will definitely go up to Ushogu and Mimosa and say, I think we should start our investigation with the 2 Lashunta over there. They know something about the fact that this was going to go down.
I see. Allow me a moment of meditation. And I think Ushogu with this information is going to, like, on all fours, start muttering something to himself for about a minute to activate sidereal influence. I'm going to tune to Photon.
Okay. I wonder if, like, the black hole orbiting you, like, takes on... You could see it, like, the outline of it almost changing as you change the influence.
Yeah, I like that.
The event horizon gets a little bit brighter or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mimosa, what are you up to?
I am going to cast Detect Magic. Just keep refreshing that. After Twill mentions that the tree is magical, I'm just gonna try and get a read on the tree's signature and then look for anything that matches. And with Eno's suggestion, I'm gonna have those 2 Lashunta be the first in line as we get everyone to go towards Sarenrae's study.
Okay. Make a mysticism check.
Yeah. What is my mysticism? Let me see. What is my mysticism? Okay, plus 11. That's not bad. Let me see. 20 plus 11. 17.
17. So, in examination of the plant, you can sense it's quickly fading magical energies. Clearly, it had magic. It was changing gravity and casting darkness. So there was definitely some stuff there. There's definitely magic in this space as well, which you're well aware of. It is Saren Ray's garden, and there is magical maintenance that's kept here, especially. But as you're sensing magic, you sense a little bit of magic on the two Lashunta women, and you're sensing a lot of magic off of another pair of people here. In particular, a dwarven woman who has like long auburn hair that's done up in multiple braids, and she's wearing like 6 different like necklaces and bracelets and rings, lots of jewelry that's just emanating magic. And next to her is the old man with the staff and the white beard that Eno had spoken to earlier, whose staff is radiating strong magic as well. They also appear to be guests. They're not wearing any sort of temple garb or are recognizable.
Then I guess having those 4 come first, that way, I guess phrasing it such that, oh, well, we don't want you to have to wait in line for too long. So thinking of as a courtesy, oh, let's have you go in first. So having these 4 are 4 main suspects in this room. Have them go first as we slowly move people into an orderly line going into the study.
Okay. And Twill, last thing you were doing, what are you up to?
So yeah, after sort of like giving Mimosa the information about the magic palm frond, they're going to remember something, and they've got like a little business card tucked into their chair that they got earlier from what was it, Skexamar? There was a guy right at the beginning. Skexilvar, right at the beginning, who gave Twill a business card about a company specializing in bioorganic upgrades. So he's going to sort of remember that and sort of look at it and do they have any sort of communication equipment to call the number on the business card?
You do have a personal comm.
Okay, so yeah, it'll turn to Mimosa, sort of like hover around, say, are you okay to conduct the interviews yourself, Mimosa?
Sure.
Right, I'm going to pursue another lead I might have. Best of luck. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, keep in contact, and then send the contact info. I guess it's just like airdrop it.
Absolutely. And yeah, Twill's going to call up this this number to this company. What's it called?
Blood Plus.
That
Okay.
All your blood needs.
And yeah, he's gonna give it a ring.
The phone starts to ring, and there is an answer.
Hello.
Hello, this is Skexvalar speaking.
Skexvalar. Yes, we met earlier, didn't we?
Ah,
Had a bit of this is Twill, by the way.
yes, you're speaking telepathically, right?
Whatever the rule is for communicating via the data link. Yeah.
Okay. Because I always imagine that like communists have something in it that translates telepathy into voice magic technology, sci-fi.
Yeah. Just a little thing that plugs directly into your neurocortex and
Yes, of
translates your-
course. It was the telepathic transference that threw me off. Are you still here in the temple?
I am, yes. Had a bit of an interesting idea I wanted to run past you.
Right now?
Yes, don't see why not.
Well, I'm in the Great Hall. There seems to be quite a commotion happening. You wouldn't happen to know anything about it, would you?
Well, there was a little spot of bother in the in the plant house, yes, but we're dealing with it at the moment.
Spot of bother? It
Yes.
seems a little underwhelming to call for locking down the entire structure.
Well, we don't want anyone leaving when they shouldn't be leaving. I think that's what the authorities are believing at the moment.
Yes, I'm looking at her right now.
Well, about this this Blood Plus company that you run.
Fine, come meet me in the Great Hall. I'll be in one of the alcoves.
Oh no, this is just a quick call. I was just wondering. I was thinking of a gift for one of my friends. Do you work in botany? Do you provide flowers?
Make a diplomacy check.
Sure.
Ooh.
Diplomacy.
Oh, 19.
I specifically
diplomacy.
deal in the sales of trying to think of like corporate bioengineering speak. I specifically deal in the sales of mass bio augmentations for the Enterprise, but I'm happy to handle one-on-one commissions as well. As far as botany, I suppose some of our innovations do involve the one in particular is one that implants photosynthetic cells into your skin, if you're interested.
That may be a little over the top for what I'm looking for, but I had a very specific gift in mind. It's there's a kind of flower that grows on Hib, you see, and it glows. It emanates these lovely glowing spores, and there's nothing that really exists like it anywhere else in the Pact Worlds, and I was wondering if it could be done magically, you see.
Sounds very interesting. Could be a potential project for us at Blood Plus. If you don't mind, if you could meet me in the alcove, we could certainly talk about it. I'm not going anywhere for the time being.
Oh, of course.
I may even be able to recommend you to one of my colleagues who's more interested in experimental aesthetics.
Oh, I see. Would you be able to give me their name, perhaps?
I'd have to speak with them first. Company policy, you know.
I see. Well, thank you for the information. It's just a little side project I'd like to work on. It's for a friend back on Hib. I think they'd find that intriguing. Well, thank you for your time. Look forward to meeting you soon.
I will definitely forward you any information that I may come upon. As I said, I seem to be stuck here for the time being.
Nice to speak to you again, Skexamar.
All right.
He hangs up.
So during
Interesting.
your phone call, Mimosa and Ino and Ushoku were taking some people to the study, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Ushogu definitely is getting back into the old cultist interrogation habits. So if there's any windows, he's blotting them out. He's removing all the furniture except for like a table and 2 chairs.
Well, okay, so let me take you over to the study actually, so you can get a better idea for
An interrogation room.
There is a windowless interrogation room here as well.
Wow.
So you enter into the study with your 4 initial suspects. Here you can see. Oh, I'm missing. Hold on, just one sec. Shauna is here with 2 temple guards. Large Barathu, who they're unlike Mimosa. They are not early stage Barathu. They are. They're average stage, middle-aged stage.
Middle-aged.
Barathu.
Mid-stage, medium stage.
Mimosa, as well as
stage.
Gatwall on board the ship, they have both elected to remain individuals. But these Barathu, much like Brexil, the head priest who you saw earlier, are merged with other Barathu as the Barathan life forms tend to do. And so these guards are large. It's like 4 Barathu all like combined essentially. So
In a trench coat.
in this case, Saren Ray guard robes, but trench coat. Why not? And Shauna is here and has been securing the area. It's a very well lit study with lots and lots of books, as well as sort of like electronic interfaces. Here in the center is a statue of a Medusa in robes of Sarenrae. Mimosa, you know her to be a saint of Sarenrae from the bright side of Verces, which is all desert. What's her name and what's her story?
The bright side of Verces, Saint Carmilla. Saint Carmilla Severa, from the bright side of Verces. She became a saint by saving a town. She saved a town somehow. I remember some of the lesson. I know it had to do with healing magic, but I think she turned herself into stone in the process.
Sounds about right. And so she is.
So this is actually the saint, like in this room.
And this is one of the claim to fames of the Dawnflare Temple. You know how like old Catholic cathedrals will like keep the bones of saints in their crypts so people can come and touch them.
This is the actual saint just before she died.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And of course there is magic to depetrify people, but it's never worked for some reason.
Yeah. There's a weird case.
So here in the study of Saint Carmilla Severa, the Shauna shows you to this interrogation room in the back, which Ushogu, she looks to you for your all the way back here, looks to you for your approval. It seems like you've got a nose, a thing for these things.
Yes. Can Ushogu fit in this door without squeezing?
Not without squeezing.
You have to duck.
So what are the mechanics for squeezing again? Just for a refresher, I need to look that up.
When you squeeze, you like lose AC, dex stuff, and you go at half speed. So it's like difficult terrain for you just to move through that door.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
I think you're flat-footed.
Yeah. I like the idea of him trying to like squeeze through like
don't worry.
Scrambling like a rabbit trying to get down a hole.
Yeah.
Go on without me.
There's plenty of space in here, Oshogu.
and then a nice like there it is. Oh, well, this seems pretty nice, actually. It'll be perfect.
If you say so, it's usable at the very least.
It's nostalgic.
Who are we? Nostalgic. She gives you a weird look. and she kind of, Mimosa, are you following us in?
Oh yes.
She turns to you and she's like,
snacks in.
Mimosa, I see you're taking Sarenrae's teachings to heart.
Yep. Well, the light shines on all manner of folk from all walks of life. The light doesn't pick favorites.
She kind of, you can see her eyeing the black hole orbiting Ushogu's head. Yes, well, the light does reveal all with time.
I look at the black hole. I look at the tray of snacks I brought. I offer her a cookie. I wouldn't think too much about it. You get used to it,
Good idea. Keep up our energy and our efforts.
Yeah, and I put a coaster underneath the mug that's there because it does bother me a little bit, just a bit.
Now, I need 2 names for these Barathu guards.
Gork. And Spillip.
Gork and Spillip, I love it.
Spillip.
Fill up. Yeah.
I've brought Gork and Spillip along just to keep things secure as we're stop laughing.
Sorry, it sound like 2 henchmen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I've brought Gork and Spillip along. Why are you laughing? This is a very serious matter.
Sorry, I inhaled a cracker. I'm not laughing. I'm choking. Actually, sorry.
Mimosa, I would have thought your time abroad would have lent you a sense of maturity.
Yes, of course. I'm taking this very seriously.
She, yes, so Gorkin Spillip looks around for giggles. Will be in the study, the library, to secure the suspects and to keep order as we conduct our individual interviews.
Excellent.
I would very much like these not to be interrogations. We are merely asking questions. These are guests of Saren Ray herself, and the Dawnflare Temple cannot afford to have its bad reputation besmirched.
Good reputation can't besmirch it. Understood. Do we have, is there a guest roster or a dossier with information from which to work?
Like...
Well, I mean, if it's just a guest list, so we know people's names, since this is not an interrogation, we're just asking questions. I feel like it would be good for establishing common ground so they're more at ease with us.
Unfortunately, Head Priest Braxil wanted to make sure that anyone who wanted could visit and attend today's celebration. As you were well aware, we've never shut our doors to those in need, and did not want to start doing that today just because of your high honor as
Of course.
the winner of a beauty contest.
Pageant, technically. But yeah.
So, you've collected suspects. Who shall we start with first?
Okay. Let's start with one of the taller Lashunta.
Eno, are you... I see you in the study. Are you joining us?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll walk up to Ushogu and say, "Do you prefer bad cop or good cop?"
Bad cop, bad cop, bad cop, bad cop.
And we'll remove his glasses and pop up the collar to give that police detective look.
And Twill, will you be joining us in the library, or do you have plans in the Great Hall?
Twill has just hung up their data link. They will do a quick check around to make sure they haven't attracted any unwanted attention by this call, and then make his way to where the others are.
Okay. As you move through the Great Hall towards the study, which you are probably well familiar with the study, the library, with your tech detox, probably have spent some time in here reading actual books.
Yeah.
I can see your drone hands just moving the pages now. As you spin around with a book in your hands.
Yeah.
Bantrids can't stop moving. They just roll all the time. Like little land sharks on wheels.
This is the thing. He's got a perpetual treadmill in his hover chair that keeps his ball rolling. So that's
right.
So he can stay a little more still than most Bantrids, but He still likes to the motion of rolling around.
Okay, so we have two Lashunta women who, one of them, you want to do it individually or together at the same time?
This would just be a perception check to make sure that he hasn't aroused any suspicion with this call that you just made.
I was gonna say, as you move through the Great Hall, you definitely do a quick perception check. No need to roll for it.
Okay.
No one probably noticed you. You're pretty small, low to the ground, and you definitely see Skexvalar in the spot where he said he was, sort of sitting on his data pad, this hulking Han figure in a business suit, kind of like poking and writing emails furiously.
Okay. Does he seem unhinged, upset about something?
Make a sense motive check.
Okay. Okay. Sense motive. 12.
It's hard to tell. I don't know how familiar you are with Han features.
Probably not very. Bantrids are they live quite sheltered lives. They're quite new to the pack world, so he's probably spent most of his time on Hib, maybe a little bit of time on Traxxas, staring into a screen.
You get the vibe that he's a businessman who came here to make network and cut some deals, and is frustrated at the lack of opportunities and, of course, the lockdown.
Okay. So yeah, Troll's gonna head towards the secret interrogation room then.
Okay, great. As you walk in, roll in. One of the, we'll say one of the Lashunta women are here in the hallway, and which one's coming in first? The Karasha or the Damaya? And that's for the whole group as well.
Which one are we thinking?
Which one had the tattoos on the face?
The Karasha woman.
Let's do the Karasha first.
Okay. She enters in. Oh, Roll20 updated, and so now I can't move tokens. There's a dark view, which is very nice, dark mode, but now I can't move tokens with the arrow keys anymore.
Oh.
Ah, well that's sad. Oh, there we go.
Very
There
frustrating.
we go.
So the Karasha woman walks in, and looking, even without a sense motive, looking nervous. Hi, hello. And just kind of looks around at everyone.
Good afternoon.
Please have a seat.
Okay, we'll do. The only other chair being here, which is right in front of where Ushogu is standing. So she kind of sits down and nervously looks up to see Ushogu's jaw right above her head.
Mandibles and sharp yellow teeth.
What is this all about?
Well, we wanted to first off apologize for all of the commotion that happened. I'm sure that was very unexpected, and that was not our intention for this celebration. So any undue stress we do apologize for. We're hoping if you had seen anything beforehand that was suspicious, any help that you could provide would be very appreciated as we try to get to the bottom of this.
Right, of course.
Oh, sorry, what is your name? So rude of me.
My name is Tabitha.
Tabitha. Nice to meet you, Tabitha.
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 Well, PH.
Tabitha, I see.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Of course.
She pulls at one of her antennas nervously.
All right, Tabitha. What were you doing before the commotion began?
I was enjoying the greenery of Sarenway's garden with my friend and partner, business partner, Ravena.
If you could, in your own words, give us a timeline of your stay so far.
Well, we heard about the celebration today and wanted to see, well, you, Mimosa, Mix Vega, Mix Bretheda, Mix Pact Worlds. Big fans.
Happy to meet you.
Go ahead and make a sense motive on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And you're all in here.
Okay.
Yes. I'll sense that motive.
Be good if somebody did that.
14.
Eno got a 26.
Ooh!
15.
Mimosa?
21.
21. So Mimosa and Eno both recognize that it took her a minute to remember Mimosa's name, indicating that he is not the reason that they came here today.
Interesting. Telepathically to Eno. Did you catch that?
Yes, I did. And Eno is going to jump on that as well and say, I'm a fan of the Mixed Pact Worlds contest as well. What was your favorite performance this year?
Well, of course, it would have to be the...
Mine was, of course, the football contest.
Right, yeah, that was a great...
Do you remember that
The football
amazing
was fantastic.
performance
Mhm.
with the dancing?
The football dancing, yeah.
Yes,
that was,
there was no dancing at the football
Oh,
contest.
no.
Got him.
So why don't you just tell us what it is you're here for?
Can you make
Dom?
a diplomacy
Yeah, sure.
to see how this...
That is
Is that
a...
diplomacy or intimidate?
It's not threatening per se, but that is up to you if you want to be more...
Antagonistic.
You are playing good cop, right?
Yes,
It's
I
time
know.
for bad cop.
The diplomacy 23.
It's a little bit of acid
Alright,
that drips down next to it.
I'm so sorry. I get these visions sometimes, and Mix Vega, I saw you in danger here in the temple. I told Ravena we had to come, but see if we could maybe try and stop whatever was about to happen. But unfortunately, we missed it.
Do I believe her?
With your sense motive from before, definitely. It does sound weird. Go ahead and make a mysticism check.
Yeah. And I would love to just have detect magic going this whole time.
Ooh.
Mysticism. What is the mysticism again? That is a... Yep, okay. Roll 1 through 20 plus this. 15.
What does it look like as you cast detect magic?
I conjure a little star and I just kind of juggle it, or kind of like hacky sack it, and then bounce it on my head, and it just kind of fades into, or absorbs into, I guess, whatever I use to sense things, and then just like a faint little glow.
Okay. There's no magic coming off of... Well, there's a little bit of magic, as I said, coming off of her. Nothing too severe compared to the others that you saw outside who were radiating strong auras of magic. What was your mysticism? 15. So you detect some abjuration magic off of her. Probably a ring of resistance.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure oracular gifts can definitely be a burden, and I'm sure they might have put you in an awkward position here. So thank you for sharing that.
my dedication to Iloritu and the mysteries of magic have made me realize that it's best to if I see something, to go and see it in real life. I mean, that's how most of my visions and dreams come true anyway. But I never, in a million years, thought that a plant like that would come to life and attack, and just the spectacle of the whole thing was fantastic. All of you, which kind of like looks up ever so slightly at Oshogu, we're just fantastic, incredible.
Thank you.
I fight to not be swayed by the praise, and I fail, but just barely. Just barely. And I open the floor to other questions if people have them.
Shauna stands up and crosses her arm. You can hear the armor, the heavy armor that she's wearing, kind of like clank as she like looks down on this Garasha woman. So, have you seen any more visions? Can you make these visions come at will? Maybe see something else that's going to happen, or the perpetrator of this crime? Tabitha kind of, no, ma'am, I'm dreadfully sorry. Well, it just happens to me. I haven't been able. I've practiced plenty of times but haven't really been able to get this psychic power under control.
Perhaps you just need the right motivation.
Yes, it would be quite unfortunate if you knew exactly who was behind this and chose not to. Perhaps it's someone you know.
It certainly would be, Mr. What was your name again?
Ushogu.
Mr. Oshogu, I promise you. In fact, I would definitely offer up my gift and try as best as I can to maybe make something happen. It never has gone well in the past, but if that's something you all would like, desperately looking at anywhere else but Oshogu.
That would make me very happy.
Can you make an intimidate check?
Yep. Whee! Sidereal influence, go! That is an 18. Plus 7. So that's 25.
I will do my very best to try and make something happen. I feel like in a place like this, where with such great energy, I could definitely maybe make it happen.
Hey, breathe. Just inhale, exhale. One more time. Hold for a little bit. Let it go.
You know what? This always helps me to relax. Ino is going to pull out a small pouch and hand it to the Lashunta, and it's a packet of Hyperleaf.
Ooh, what is that?
That's space drugs.
It's space drugs.
Okay.
Space boost.
Is Hyperleaf legal in the Pact Worlds?
I have no idea.
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna say I've never seen Hyperleaf before.
I would have to object to this, Mr. Eno, Shauna says. The basically paladin of Saren right here in the room.
Don't worry, I have a prescription.
We will. You may have a prescription, but you can smoke that junk outside of the temple when we're done with this. I'm sorry, but
of course,
I'm going to
my
have to
mistake.
confiscate this for now.
No, not the tasty leaves.
Unless you can provide me with a prescription.
Yes, of course. Cue meme from Parks and Rec of a piece of paper. I do what I want.
I have a
Amazing.
Yes, I have my permit right here.
Oh yes, here is my weed permit. I must have dropped it.
No, actually, I don't know if this is something that Token Spell can do, but I think literally Eno's prescription is self-written because he has a rank in biohacker.
He does.
Ooh.
Hey.
So she looks at it and she's like, but she can't read the signature. All right, but let's not offer. So she hands the pouch back to you. But no more offering drugs to our.
I overstepped my bounds, and I am sorry.
Right. So I'll just get to work then, shall I? Tabitha says.
Tabitha, you're magical. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that core. Focus on that.
I will. I'll try. And she kind of stands up and quickly runs away from Ushoku. Ravana is
Well said.
outside.
I didn't realize there were so many suspicious people here.
Do we want Ravana to come in? She kind of pokes her head in.
Yes, please. Come on in.
All
Have a
right.
seat, please.
Hello, everyone. She like strides in, much less nervous than Tabitha was, and takes a seat, crosses her legs. I'm Ravana, but I'm sure my friend told you that already.
Yes, of course. We were
Tosses
just
her
hoping
hair back.
to-
Probably whips
get-
into Ushogu's torso.
Oh wow, that's fabulous. So just hoping to get a first-hand account of your time here.
Right. Well, Tabitha and I came, enjoyed the drinks and the hors d'oeuvres. I managed to get a number of very fine gentlemen. Maybe we'll meet up later. Our hotels aren't too far from each other on Trilidium. Well, look, I'm just trying to tell you the play-by-play, okay?
Oh, I'm living for this. Continue, please.
Tabitha got jealous and insecure as usual, but don't tell her I said that.
Confidentiality.
Anyway, so there we were in the garden when, that plant thing attacked. And then you defeated it. Great job, by the way. Golf clap. And
Does she say golf clap?
yes.
Must be.
I am.
And now we're
Okay.
here.
All right, I'll open the floor to questions from anyone else.
He pulls out some lip gloss and it's just like,
Is it popping? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, Twill's gonna roll up to her, saying, "You seem rather laid back from someone who was just trapped in a room with a giant murderous plant."
well, we were pretty far away from it, and y'all were so athletic that I didn't feel super worried.
Well, yes, I suppose we were pretty good, weren't we?
Besides, Tabitha and I get up into trouble sometimes. It's not rare for us to encounter situations such as these.
What sort of trouble?
I mean, just the occasional scrap. We like to travel a lot. Sometimes some people like to overstep our boundaries, and then I put them in their place.
As you
Interesting.
should. That's perfectly understandable, and we can all understand why you and your friend would have had no intention of bringing this void palm upon us, right? It was just an accident.
We didn't bring it on board the temple, if that's what you mean. We had nothing to do with it, absolutely.
Oh, come now. You know it, and we know.
Know what, Mr. She looks
Eno.
at you. Eno. What's your last name?
Nashang.
Eno Nashang. Ain't that right?
Yes,
Your
the same.
daddy's rich and powerful.
Well, I don't want to gush.
What is it? Nashang Industries or something like that?
What of it?
I'm just curious how you happen to get involved in all of this. Sorry, I know I'm not the one conducting the interview here. And she kind of looks around at everyone. You're pretty far from Castroville. I mean, I guess we both are.
Come now, don't play games.
I don't play games. I win them.
It's always gonna be like, do you two know one another? What's going on there?
There does seem to be like a thing going on here.
Yeah,
Not
what
at
is that,
all.
you know?
Not at
The
all.
tension is thick.
It's just some traditional Castrovalian flirting. Be glad you got a front row seat.
I'm enjoying every second of this.
I'm confused by every
Telepathically
second
to
of this.
everyone but her. I'm kind of loving this, not gonna lie.
Well, I would love to continue flirting, but of course we have this investigation to go on, and I think I'm gonna have to turn it over to my friend here if you're unable to provide us any more information. And then points up to Ushogu.
Ooh. Huh. Well,
But choice is yours. I'm gonna go with another drink.
okay. Like I said, we came here to see the celebration. It's always been Tabitha's dream to check out the temple, and well, I go where Tabitha goes. We're lifelong friends.
Even to the Mixed Pack Worlds competition.
Oh, we just happened to catch it online. We were in Leovara for a little lat business.
I'll telepathically send to Ushogu and Mimosa, basically everyone except the Ravana and Tabitha, more or less verbatim what I overheard them say telepathically. The reason why I called them in here was because they knew this was going to happen. Like, reminder, not just business.
I think Ushogu's gonna put a clawed hand on the shoulder of the Lashunta being. Your thoughts have already betrayed you. Your friend has already betrayed you in her mind.
Big,
She has. She has visions, doesn't she?
go ahead and roll.
Vision.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Visions she can't control. Visions that, in an investigation, might be incriminating. That is a dirty 20.
Ooh, filthy.
I see. Tabitha was one always to break easily. Yeah, she had a vision that you were in trouble, Mix Vega, and wanted to come and see it. It's true we were on Leovara before this, but not for business. I don't know if you're aware, but Leovara, there's plenty of those who visit the planet to enhance their psychic abilities, to try and tune in to their visions and whatnot. And so, yeah, we were there trying to get a grip on Tabitha's abilities, but alas, nothing came of it, per usual. I mean, the finest psychic instructors on Castroville weren't able to teach her any sort of, give her any sort of skills to hone this ability. It's almost like a curse.
Curse. I'm sure dealing with a curse like that must be difficult.
It is, but we found ways to blow off steam. Anyway, when she had the vision, we came here to Bretheda. And straight to Dawnflare Temple.
And yet, it seemed as though you were more preoccupied watching us than you were intervening and saving Mimosa.
We had no idea, I swear, how it was gonna happen.
But you knew it was going to happen!
We did, and I'm sorry, I guess we should have said something sooner, but it hasn't been easy. We've tried in the past to warn people with when they pop up in her visions, and, well, it's gone badly for us. So, yeah, we didn't say anything. We didn't want to be seen as suspicious, which big fat help that was. And, well, to be honest, I never thought that plant was gonna come to life.
She does seem honest.
Can we do another sense motive
Go for it.
to see if she's being honest? Okay. $18.
Good.
14.
Yeah, whatever facade of confidence was that she was, successfully projecting before Ushogu's claws came to bear around the chair that she's sitting on, has evaporated in the thin air that now fills this room. She is very much telling the truth and is suddenly afraid of, once again, getting into trouble because of Tabitha's visions.
Well, thank you for your cooperation, and if you do see anything, please feel free to let us know. I hope we can call on your assistance in the future as well.
I swear. And she, if you have like a comm unit, she'll go ahead and like swipe her comm unit. There's my number. You can, Tabitha and I are almost always together, so you can reach us through me. I've kind of become her agent's not the right word, nor his manager, but yeah, I'm
Fair
her
enough.
manager.
Good to know. Well, we'll certainly be in touch. Thank you.
She kind of steps out and instead of running away like Tabitha did, she walks steely in her high heels out of the room.
With her tail between her legs.
Well, I could inspect the young Tabitha medically to see if there's anything that could explain these visions, but I suspect it's something more of a magical nature.
It sounded like she didn't have much control over the visions, according to her friend.
It's definitely a burden. If you can control it, even more so when you can't.
Before we do the next round of interviews, I thought I would address the group with something I found may prove of interest. When I first arrived here, and you stepped off of the craft, Mimosa, very strange individual, another Han, by the name of Skexvalar, spoke to me about a company that they have interest in, Blood Plus. They specialize in organic upgrades on a mass production level. Seemed rather interesting that we were then attacked by a large magical plant. So I gave the company a call, and they do indeed have an individual that can specialize in magical botany.
Interesting.
Indeed. I'm supposed to be meeting Skexvalar's contacts after these interviews.
A word, if I may.
Yes, of course, of course.
Skexvilar and I have history belonging to the same family, let's say.
Oh, I see. Are they a
There
relation
are-
of yours?
Blood brother, perhaps. I
Like
could
a found
say.
family.
I've been legally advised not to talk about the past few years, but I will say that the organization to which I belonged often had fronts for collecting useful components such as blood.
I see.
We had a goal, well, part of us, those who'd worshipped the Devourer, to open something called the Blood Door.
There's an awful lot of blood in your culture, isn't there?
Well, yes, in this particular, I can't speak for every single Han, but there is a very strong chance that this may be dangerous. Take caution. He may seem like a businessman, but a killer is not so easily changed.
Shauna is standing in the corner, leaned up in the corner with her arms crossed. She shifts. Mimosa,
Mm-hmm.
you brought
Yeah.
a follower of the Devourer here into Dawnflare Temple?
So, it's a nuanced situation. Yes, but on our travels, Shogu has been instrumental in keeping me alive, and Sarenrae doesn't judge. Well, I mean, she does pass judgment, but like, we are not supposed to judge people based on their past once they've made a demonstrable effort to change. So I believe, frankly, that perhaps this is part of her plan.
Well, you know the saying, devour lest ye not be devoured.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
that's a saying from the cult itself.
Oh, is it?
That's
Mm,
where
well,
its
that does-
origins
that-
lie.
I
That
think
does
we've
make
learned a
sense.
lot now. I
Yeah.
think we've learned a lot about each other, and we're going to have to take some time to reflect on this.
Yeah, etymology is interesting. So, Shauna, do you trust me?
I trust my instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust statistics. And statistics show that those who come from a terrorist background are more than likely to terrorize again. And from what I've seen today, you are terrifying. And she looks at you, Oshogu.
Do you really mean it?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Mimosa.
That. Okay, so we do want to work on that. So here's the thing. Wouldn't have gotten this far without a Shogu, and I just think that someone being scary doesn't always mean bad, and I think that Ushogu has done a lot of good, and there are plenty of bad people who aren't scary. You can't judge a book by its cover. You can't always understand people's motives, and I think from my experience, just as you trust your instincts, I trust my lived experience with my crewmate, scary though he may be.
Can you roll diplomacy? Should be easy because you're
Sure.
already friendly.
Sure. What is my diplomacy? Do I diplomas? Okay.
Diplomas.
Diplomatizing?
Oh,
Diplomasmizing!
Hey.
it's an 11.
Oof.
Okay, let me actually go and look at the DC for this again. Because I did say it was going to be easy, but is it an
For sure.
11 easy?
Yeah.
Can we all assist for the banter that we provided?
I think so.
Loving some banter. We love banter.
So
Yeah,
she's
so,
friendly,
you know,
so the
it's-
DC goes down by 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Love that.
It's fairly typical for Han culture to it's a mark of honor to be considered scary, and to think it a bad quality is just culturally insensitive, surely.
And consider too that sometimes Saren Ray uses bad people to do good things.
Indeed, a smokescreen, if you will.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to assist potentially.
Sure.
I assist.
I rolled. Wait. Yeah. Does my banner count?
Yeah.
I mean, Okay, cool.
If you're trying to convince her that you're not evil.
13 was what I rolled.
Okay, +2.
15 for diplomacy.
+2. With the extra +6, that puts us at
17.
17.
Okay.
Fine. Ushogu. I'm going to be looking you up after this. Your criminal record. Just keep everything above board. Your relationship with this Skexvalar. Do you know for a fact that he's still a member of the Devourer's cult? Saren Ray, help me.
I don't doubt it. I wasn't so lucky. If I were not captured and tried and exiled from Bretheda and all of that, I would still be in the same position that Skexovar is today.
Okay. And, well, we need to bring him in to an interview.
Do you think that's such a good idea? He seemed very vexed by the situation, the lockdown that's currently happening when I saw him last.
Well, I'm sure he is, but we need eyes on him. If he's trying to escape, if he was behind this, we can't lose him now.
It would
Well,
be good to interview.
I'm wondering if I should do the meetup beforehand, just in case he himself goes into lockdown in terms of information that he might give us as a group, as opposed to an individual.
Okay, Twill, you
Yes?
go and do subterfuge.
I will try my best. Going to sort of roll up to Mimosa, so say, Mimosa, is there any way we can stay linked telepathically, just in case something does go wrong?
Let me see the distance, because I'm thinking it has to be close.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close. We could be linked while you're in this room or the room adjacent, but it's only up to, if you go 31 feet away, it's no good.
I see. Do we have some sort of data link that I can contact people on? Eno, do you have anything like that?
I have my comm unit.
We can presume you're all on the same radio frequency.
Okay. I'll give a shout over the data link if something goes wrong.
Keep it close by, and we can rush over.
Okay, we'll continue conducting interviews here in the meantime.
And I will say to Shauna, if Carmilla were never given her second chance, she wouldn't have been able to become a saint.
That's true. A little hard to not give second chances when you've got the dead body of a saint of Saren Ray not 30 feet away from you in the next room.
Yeah, she's pretty close by. So.
All right, Ushoku.
That's a person out there?
There's a whole story about it.
Ah, sillies. That's not a person. That's a statue. Common mistake, I know.
Well, looks thoroughly confused by this. And rolls
fine.
out of the room.
It's fine. Let's
Yeah,
let's
that
bring
one
in
did hurt me. That hurt me a bit too, Sean. I feel you on that. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
Do petrified people still have thoughts?
Oh, terrifying. Oh, nightmare.
No.
Oh,
no.
thank God.
Don't like that.
Like, oh, I'm studying in this room. Help me.
All of the fantasy media that I've consumed up until this point, when people are depetrified, it's like no time has passed for them at all.
Oh good.
They're like, huh?
Nice.
I guess I was stoned for 100 years.
What a way to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's continue interviews then. And she pokes her head out. So, Twill, we'll have you kind of. I'm gonna move you down to outside these doors here.
Sure thing.
The Lashuntas, they will stay in the room because why not? And we bring in the next two. This human man with white hair and a long white beard, and a dwarven woman with these red braids and lots of necklace-eye.
All right. If we could have the next interviewee come on in.
Which one?
Oh, let's go with the wizard-looking man. He's got a staff.
Before we do that, did we have a time to do like a 10-minute rest to gain our stamina again?
Absolutely.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, there was probably like a good hour in between when we left the garden and the interviews began. Just locking down the temple, getting everyone organized, sort of thing.
Less it'd
We
be.
get our stamina back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you spend that resolve and get that stam.
Stamina back.
Okay,
All right, resolve point.
the human man, the elderly gentleman, enters in. Well, what is this all about then? Yes, he looks to you, I would love a refill of the punch, please, if you will.
Oh yes, my pleasure. Refill. Hands it to him. Hopefully get him sauced up a little bit. Might be more talkative.
Yes, yes.
Cheers.
Very nice, very nice. What is it? What is the quantum theory you're using to make this, young man? Reminds me of the geodesic theory of liquid fulmination.
Well, I'm afraid my cocktails are a trade secret. Can't have people copying my recipes, as it were.
Of course. That is the best way to do it, usually.
However,
Excuse me, I've
it
yet
is
to
for
introduce
sale.
myself. I am Professor Patron.
Professor Patron.
Of the university at what is it? The University of Triaxian Studies. No.
Yeah, Traxian studies.
It needs to be better than that. It is a university on Triaxis. I need a name for a university on Triaxis. An academy, if you will.
Minerva Soul.
Ooh, what?
Minerva Soul.
Minerva
Soul.
University.
Nice.
Minerva Soul Academy.
Ah, yes, I am a professor at the University of the Minerva Soul Academy. Primarily in magics and dragon studies. Go ahead and roll a culture check, see if you know about the university.
Ooh. All right. Nope, not the D6. Whee. I'm gonna call that a big fat no. That is a 2.
Okay.
Ooh.
Anyone else?
Got a 22.
22. The University of Minerva Sol Academy is a academy on Triaxis in some major city that is sponsored by a bronze dragon who loves to give out scholarships to Riforians in need.
I see.
It is a university that's primarily known for its study of course, of magic, as well as of the natural sciences.
Ah.
Ah, an educated man, I see.
Yes, that is it.
Well, I whisper over to Ushogu and Mimosa. Ah, now I know. I hate him. I had to. Sorry.
No, he's standing here in front of the table and he kind of like stamps his staff. So, what is this all about?
Oh, if you would please take a seat, make yourself comfortable. Given the recent commotion, we're just asking everyone for their first-hand accounts of their time here to get a sense for how the event occurred and if we can glean any useful information that you have.
Of course. My colleague and I saw everything, and you would be wise to ask us about what we witnessed inside the garden of Sarenrae.
Of course, by all means. In your expert opinion, what happened?
Well, we were enjoying the festivities. My colleague is a professor of herbology at the academy and was keen on investigating some of the more spectacular flowers in the garden here at the Dawnflare Temple. Apparently it has some sort of renown as far as gardens go. And, well, we were simply enjoying ourselves, doing as such, when there was quite the commotion. I turned around and the four of you were busy engaged with some sort matter of plant creature.
Does anything he said, has anything he said seemed suspicious?
No, not yet. Go ahead and roll sense motive.
Okay. Sense motive.
Got a 25.
Sense motive.
It's a 12.
Woo! And a woo! That is a 9. No.
He is definitely, I mean, you all are like, he seems pretty much on the up and up. But you recognize him. I think it's part of your maybe dislike for him. The man who likes to present trivial challenges. And in this case, I don't necessarily mean trivial. It is trivial, but it's also trivia. He likes making people work for the answers. And he does not give information freely unless the right question is asked.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I'll send that info telepathically, saying he's toying with us. He wants us to ask a certain question, and I don't know. Maybe it's a superiority complex of some kind.
Then I will. I'm going to make a show of casting Detect Magic, just so it's directly within his view, so he knows as we're having this conversation. I hope you don't mind.
No, of course not. That is make a mysticism check.
Yes, cool. Okay, gonna roll.
Did he say what his specialization was at that university?
Magics and Dragon Studies.
Thank you.
23.
23. So as you're casting Detect Magic, you sense great magic radiating off of his staff. It seems to have divination properties.
Ooh, interesting.
As you cast it, he says, excellent use of Belfast's magical detection technique. Where did you train?
Well, actually, I trained here.
Really? You must be one of those mystics.
Yes, I'm quite skilled in the mystic arts.
Mm-hmm. I'm a traditionalist myself. This technomancy and mysticism, it's too frou-frou for me. The old arts are the best arts, of course. And he stamps his staff again. You can see, like, as he does that, like, his robe kind of moves a little bit, and you can see, like, a spell component pouch on one side, and, like, this heavy tome just kind of, belted, or hanging off of a belt around his
Is this
waist.
dude just like Merlin, just an old school wizard?
Yeah.
I love it.
He's a hipster.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Hipster wizard.
I was
Anyone
born
who
in the
practice-
wrong generation.
any human who practices wizardry in this day and age is a hipster. It'd be one thing if it was a dwarf or an elf. They've been alive for a lot longer. But come on, this dude's what,
Oh,
60?
man.
It's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm actually older than him. That's weird. Yeah. Well, am I correct in my understanding that you practice pre-gap magic?
Yes, you seem to be quite educated despite having received your training in a temple to Sarenrae. That is correct. I study draconic magics specifically.
How quaint.
Huh?
How quaint.
Yes, some may think of it as that, but you listen here, Sonny. It has taken me decades to have perfected the draconic tongue enough to practice the spells that I have at my command.
Oh, that makes sense because, those old magics were so fluffed up with extra pomp and circumstance that one could not actually perform any real magic with them.
I refuse to dignify that with a response.
Well, I couldn't help but notice your staff is of the divination persuasion. Perhaps you could give us a demonstration as we are trying to find the source of the recent hostilities. Perhaps you could aid us with your divination abilities.
Absolutely. I would
His magic wouldn't do anything for us. It's too outdated.
I would absolutely love to give you a display and to perchance shed some light on the situation. And as he says that, he kind of like looks over at Shauna and like smiles a little bit.
This is a place of illumination. And telepathically to Eno, nice baiting him with the reverse psychology.
Oh, of course.
So he looks at that coffee mug on the table that's probably been sitting there for a while. Gather around and stare into the inky brown depths of this several-hour-old coffee cup and see just how my power makes the mundane magic.
I'm looking at the cup. I'm looking at the coffee mug.
He reaches it, like fishes around into his component pouch without even like looking, and grabs some sort of powder and like sprinkles it in, and then
we are familiar with sugar.
takes his staff, steadfastly ignoring Eno's quips, and as he moves it, is it Widdershins or Deosil? I'll never know the difference. The water.
Counterclockwise.
Widdershins is clockwise.
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
I don't know why I know that, I just do.
Then he moves his staff Deosil as the water begins moving clockwise in the liquid, and with the component that he sprinkled in there, it begins to glow ever so softly, and the image shows a beautiful palm tree decorated in silver and gold in the center of Saren Ray's garden. And you see the gifts around it, and it is barely perceptible, but there is a soft, like a blue circle, dark blue circle that appears around the plant and moves up. And as it moves up, you can see the plant change and turn into the more gaudily decorated void palm that was there when you arrived in the garden.
Does someone use transmutation on the plant?
Yes, well deducted. Quite interesting, isn't it? You should be glad that you had my skills to call upon in this time of need.
Yes, most impressive, Master Patron.
I assure you, it were my colleague and I, had we arrived any sooner, she would have absolutely noticed the dangerous plant. She is an expert in all things magical plants.
Oh.
It's quite a specialization.
What else does she specialize in terms of the magical arts?
No, you'd have to ask her, but she is quite familiar with the natural magics. I wouldn't necessarily call her skill arcane. But Professor Mulberry does have a connection with the Xeno Wardens.
Yes. Well, do we have any other questions? Right. Well, thank you very much for your time. And of course, if we have any other need of your arcane prowess, I would hope that we'd be free to call on you again.
Naturally. Professor Patron is here at your service.
Thank you very much. If you would please send your colleague in on your way out.
Steps out, and Professor Mulberry steps in with the scent of patchouli surrounding her.
Ooh, patchouli. Ooh.
In the meantime, let's go over to Twill,
Yes.
as Twill is performing some subterfuge. Twill, you're
Yes.
rolling into the Great Hall. What are you doing?
So yeah, did Skexvalar give a location to meet to discuss this project that Twill was talking about over the data link?
He is in one of the alcoves, and it's not hard for you to find that he has not moved from the spot where you saw him earlier.
Okay, so yeah, Twill's gonna sort of confidently as Twill can, being a 4-foot bantrid, roll up to this giant Han. Are they wearing a business outfit?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah. And say, hello, Mr. Skexvalar?
Ah, Twill. Welcome.
Yes. Hello there. Sorry that took so long. I was delayed back there. So, I wish to discuss business with you. It's very good that we met up. In fact, I'm quite lucky.
Are you a resident here at the temple?
Oh no. I was visiting to get away from the laborious nature of technology. You see, I have to deal with a lot of it in my work life, and coming to the temple, I was advised would be a nice break from the rigors of technology and robotics.
You can see he kind of turns his head to the side and his mandibles click together. How long have you been here? You seem to be entwined with the workings of the Dawn Flare.
Oh, just a few days. I haven't really left my my hotel, but I saw there was a commotion outside. A local celebrity was arriving, so I thought I'd go and inspect and see what all the fuss was about.
I couldn't help but notice on our call earlier You said we were managing the commotion.
Yes. A local group that I met up with recently, we were involved in an incident just now, and I appear to have been roped into the effort to try and work out who was responsible.
How noble of you.
Thank you. I try my best. Yes.
He's looking at you with an odd stare, as if trying to size you up.
It doesn't take long. So, about this this project I was talking about, I've got a special someone back on Hib, and they are quite fond of this this flower. They're called Bluminars. They have this wonderful magical glow, and they don't really exist anywhere outside of Hib, but they're currently working on verses, you see, and I think they would appreciate a little bit of home, but they can't leave the atmosphere of Hib, you see. They need to be kept in some sort of atmosphere jar, and then they only live for a few days. And I was wondering if I should create a similar thing with your company's help.
Sounds like a bit of cloning with some genetic modulation in order to adapt the organism to a foreign atmosphere.
I see. Not really my sort of style. I was wondering if it could be done magically, you see.
I'm sure it could, but magic is flimsy, unreliable. At Blood Plus, we aim to create stable, bio-innovative products.
I see. You mentioned that you had a colleague that specialized more in magical botany. Perhaps I could have a word with them and discuss this project in more detail.
I could set something up. I could set a meeting up in Trilidium. Maybe early next week, perhaps.
Yes, that could work. Do you have their name and their details so I could give them a call?
Can you go ahead and make a bluff roll for me, please?
Bluff. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. That's 12.
Why don't I talk to them first, and we set up a meeting between the three of us? Blood Plus has many conference spaces in the arcology of Trilidium, and we could absolutely begin talks of development. And he's
Absolutely.
like clicks the mandibles 3 times together. I'd be intrigued to hear what you have to offer. Of course, this wouldn't come cheap.
Oh no, custom production like this I imagine would be quite expensive, especially if there is magic involved.
Yes, as I said, magic is unreliable. We would be approaching it from a more scientific perspective, you understand. Is that okay?
Could the scientific aspect do the same job magic could do? Do you, in your opinion?
That is the aim of most of our innovations at Blood Plus. You may not be aware, but the Barathan Barathan, what's the word? The Barathan physiology is able to reproduce much genetic things. It's so hard trying to use all the science terminology and roleplay at the same time.
Morphology.
Genetic functions of the species found across the Pact Worlds, if not even further reaching into the galaxy. We are constantly pushing our Barathan laboratories to their limits. Of course, everyone enjoys the challenges provided.
Sounds absolutely fascinating.
I myself do not necessarily have a mind for the science, but it excites me to sell and buy new opportunities to push things further than they've ever been pushed before.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your time. That has been most intriguing. I must get back to my investigation now, Skatesville. Thank you very much for your time.
I'm glad that you could take a break in your noble duties here at the temple and speak a little business with me. I so do enjoy business.
That's not ominous in the slightest.
I'm just trying to reach the standard that Parker has set for this Han, intimidative awesomeness.
Oh, shucks.
I can just imagine this guy just looming over Twill as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Twill's going to sort of strengthen his waistcoat a bit, sort of straighten it a bit, and start rolling back.
I'll send an email with the meeting details. We'll circle back.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Synergy, yes.
Yikes.
I felt that in my spine.
Yeah. And yeah, Twill's going to roll on back to the interview room.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the interview room, the dwarvish woman with the auburn curls and the many necklaces and rings walks in, kind of jingling and jangling, accompanied by the scent of patchouli. Oh, yes. Hello, good afternoon. I am Professor Mulberry of the University of the Minervasul Academy on Triaxis. Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for sparing some time to speak with us.
Of course. I was quite shocked at what happened. You managed to take down that void palm fairly quickly. I was impressed. These plants can be so dangerous, and my apologies for not have noticing it sooner. I was so caught up by the fascinating flora of the garden that I completely missed it.
Well, that's completely understandable. We do have quite the selection of exotic plants in our garden here. We're very proud of that. We were hoping that you could provide some insight as to the nature of the entity and any information you could provide on how it might have gotten there. Your colleague was able to inform us of some things, but we were hoping to get your opinion.
Yes, it is quite strange seeing a void palm here in Bretheda for, they are quite rare, found across the galaxy on various planets in various forms and strains. I think that the most likely place to find void palms in the Pact World systems would be on Octurne, although I myself have yet to make a visit. too dangerous for the likes of me. Perhaps in my younger days I would have been more eager to study the flora of such a chaotic planet. But no, unfortunately.
Of course, of course. Your colleague was able to inform us that transmutation magic was utilized in converting the former tree into the void palm that we saw.
So, I didn't miss it after all. It was transmuted before, or I guess behind our very eyes.
Seems to be the case.
Fascinating. The magic's required to transmute such a complex plant creature. I'm trying to think of a word for plant that's different. Sorry, Parker, what was that?
Flora?
Flora, we've used that so often. I'll think about it.
Veggie boy,
Vegetable.
Yeah.
Vegetable.
vegetable, veggie friend.
To transmute a veggie friend so as complex as that. Yes.
You did it!
I'm impressed if I also weren't frightened at the same time.
It's certainly impressive.
Vegetation. Thank you, Ghost of Sunny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Words hard.
Words are hard.
Such complex vegetation would require very powerful magics. Of course, the Xenowardens have such magics available, but would never use it in a manner such as this. You have my best assurance.
It would take a high level of magic to do this. Do you know perhaps of anyone who has this sort of ability?
As I said, there are Xenowardens that would have the ability. I have a loose connection with the organization, but just as from my studies of vegetation across the Pact Worlds. Of course, I am a supporting member. I donate annually in the charity drives to ecological causes. But I do know that there is a contingent of Xenowardens currently visiting Bretheda on Trilidium. They are petitioning Confluence to establish a more permanent base of locations here in Bretheda across the moons. For there are many moons here that have fascinating and wondrous vegetative life forms that require study and protection naturally.
Interesting.
It's not called the Cradle of the Pact Worlds for nothing.
Truly, of course. And in using such magics, would there be any trace residue in the mycelial network of the roots, perhaps, that might have a telltale sign?
Yeah, see, you have a bit of knowledge yourself.
I dabble.
Shauna nods, remembering your time spent in the garden, like actually planting some of those things that were in there.
Yeah. I enjoyed that tree, and I'm mad it attacked me, so I'd love to know why.
If there were magics left in the roots of the Void Palm, they most assuredly would have dissipated by now, especially in the inflammatory outburst that defeated the violent creature, unfortunately.
Mimosa notices Ushogu pointedly looking away, just like, do you mind? And I begin to cast Detect Magic just so I can get a sense of what she's working with magically.
Yeah, she's got some, I think, divination, probably some transmutation and abjuration effects on her.
Okay.
Trying to think about what speak with plants, what spell that would be, if that is a spell in Starfinder. Pretty sure it is.
What would that be?
Speak with plants.
It is a Nope, I want the Starfinder spell.
Please.
I don't think it's I don't know if it exists in Starfinder.
I think it does. I think because there's a
Commune
alien
with
ancestry.
Nature.
There we go.
That is a divination level 5 mystic spell.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
I'm
right on
not
the
there
cusp.
yet. Interesting. Interesting. Do you know how long it would take to cast such a spell, or if there would be, for something that powerful, if there are any components that would be required, anything that would leave a telltale sign, or anything difficult about casting such magic?
I would imagine that yes, one could perform the spell as a ritual. It's strange that it would be a transmutative effect, for I would imagine that conjuration would be quite simpler. It wouldn't be. There are no spells that I know of that would be able to change a complex flora of creatures such as that specimen. There are other spells to enhance the growth of plant life in an area, or to take control of it. I'm sure there are also spells to, of course, conjure plant-like creatures into your space for a short, indeterminate amount of time. To transmute it, I would imagine that it would require some sort of techno-magical artifact.
Interesting.
Magic alone would not suffice to provide the energy required to cast a spell and have it change so quickly as you described.
Telepathically to Shauna, I ask, does the temple have any barriers against conjuration? Anything to keep out extraplanar beings that aren't supposed to be here?
Shauna responds, yeah, the Saren Ray's light protects this place from teleportation. You must, if anyone's teleporting or being summoned, you must be outside, unless it's coming from Saren Ray's army itself. Army is not the right word. Saren Ray's
Sure. Forces.
flock, her angels, essentially.
If that's the case, and I would share this with everyone except the person we're interviewing, if someone knew, that would explain why conjuration wasn't used. So whoever did this would have an intimate knowledge, or at least a baseline understanding, that they would need a workaround, since conjuration would be the easy version, but transmutation was what was used. So that says to me this might be an inside job. Where's Trenda?
Where is Trenta indeed?
Indeed.
The camera fades out, because it is time. And we see Trenta in the Great Hall, looking around and looking across the hall at Skexvalar, who very briefly, subtly looks up and catches and meets her gaze. And that is where we'll end the session for today.
Hey.
Nice.
Wow.
Cool.
Nicely done.
Ooh, full
The
roleplay, no
intrigue.
combat. Great
Hell
job.
The
yeah.
plot thickens.
Plot, plot, plot.
I love it. Good little mystery. Mysteries are so hard to do in RPGs. You don't want to... Everything has to come organically.
It does.
It also lets you in a little bit. Helps if you don't have a real idea about what happened, and you just kind of go with the flow and see
Yeah.
what everyone else comes up with.
Definitely.
Love that.
I like to provide the effect, and we can figure out the cause together.
I like that. That works
Yeah.
really well.
Okay, everyone. With that, let's go. Normally we would do like final moments. So I think we just kind of final moment. I don't know. Let's see. What's everyone's face look like as Mimosa says, "Where's Trenta?" Like we can do dramatic soap opera faces. Perfect. And
Love that.
Let's go into plugs and outros, starting of course with Dexter.
Hello, Internet. My name is Dexter Warren. If you want to see more of my content, you can find me on TikTok as AfroSundere or on Instagram at Dexter Warren. Also, going to be joining an all-black Starfinder show coming up very soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Heck yeah. My name is Parker Wallace. You can find me on Twitter at Parker Wallace. I also have a website, parkerwallace.com. If you want to listen to my voice in other Starfinder adventures, you can listen to Starfound with Dexter and I.
Awesome. I have been Jeff, and you can find me on Twitter at EPN_Jeff. Also, check out my other projects. I'm playing in a Starfinder podcast called Emergency Power Podcast. We're about to wrap up Season 2. And you can also find me on Twitch on the Hexgrid Heroes channel playing Horizons of the Vast. That's every other Thursday. Also, check out our recent Star Wars podcast that is releasing right now, Pathways Unnatural. It's a diceless, GM-less game. Really fun. Yeah.
Groovy. And yeah, I have been Cypher. I also play Ryder on Cosmopunk. That's on Twitter at CosmopunkPod. My Twitter, my personal one, is Cypher the Box. And I will probably be uploading some artwork of Twill at some point because you may have noticed me hunched over like this. That was me drawing it.
Nice.
So, yeah, keep an eye out. And we're running a campaign called Glitched in Cosmopunk, which is Starfinder characters playing D&D 5e, which is quite a strange concept.
Ooh.
Interesting. That's fun.
Yeah.
And I have been the host and GM for today here at the Book of Bretheda. My name is Krifu Bernal. You can find me online on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on YouTube at Krifu Bernal. You can also find me here on Manapot in various streams, typically Mondays with Starfinder All That Glitters Explodes as we play through the Fly Free or Die adventure path. Tomorrow we are off, and I will be doing a session 0 with a group that will be taking we'll be running a hiatus as All That Glitters Explodes is taking a break after the end of our second season in a few weeks. And then on Wednesday, you can find me over at twitch.tv/thecapricorncross as we play through a Pathfinder 2nd edition conversion of the Wrath of the Righteous adventure path. And yes, follow me on Twitter for more updates to all of the awesome stuff that I'm doing. And stay tuned for the raid as we head over to our friends over at A Tale of Dice, who are playing through their Pathfinder 2nd edition homebrewed campaign. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. We will be back in 2 weeks for the thrilling conclusion of the 5th chapter of the Book of Bretheda. Thank you, and good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.